There's a myth out there that the key to faster cutting in abrasive water jet applications is higher and higher pressure. But that myth simply is not true. The key to faster cutting is power at the nozzle. For example, a 60,000 psi Omax direct drive pump operating at the same pump power and the same abrasive flow rate can cut faster than a hydraulic intensifier operating at 90,000 psi. And I'm going to show you why. The ultra high pressure myth ignores three key factors. The first of those is the fact that for a given size pump, if you increase the pressure, you have to reduce the size of the nozzle that you're using. This is expressed in a simple equation that says that power is proportional to pressure times volume flow rate. For a given power, a given size motor, if I increase the pressure, I have to reduce the volume flow rate, which means that I have to use a smaller orifice. For example, a 50 horsepower, 60,000 psi intensifier that would operate a 14,000 orifice nozzle can only run a 10,000 orifice nozzle when it's operated at 90,000 psi. So you get a smaller nozzle, less cutting power. Now that higher pressure, smaller stream of water you might think would cut faster because it has something we call higher power density. Same amount of power in a smaller stream. And indeed, that can be effective in certain non-abrasive applications, water-only cutting applications. But in an abrasive water jet application, we have to remember, and this is the second key factor, abrasive does the cutting, not the water. The only reason that the water jet is there is to pick up those abrasive particles, move them rapidly through the material to do the cutting. So it's the abrasive that's doing the work. And that smaller nozzle simply is no more effective at accelerating those abrasive particles as the larger orifice, standard size nozzle running at normal pressure. The third key factor is that a direct drive pump is inherently more mechanically efficient than a hydraulic intensifier. It uses a simple crankshaft drive compared to a hydraulic system. The net result is you have a 90 to 95% efficiency compared to 60 to 65% for the typical hydraulic system. Now, Omax understood that early on. One of our co-founders, Dr. John Olson, was a key developer in the early days of both the intensifier and the direct drive pump. And when he formed Omax, realized we wanted to use exclusively direct drive pumps because of that efficiency. The bottom line of all this is shown in this chart that shows actual cutting data from real-life tests and real-life material. It compares a 50 horsepower direct drive pump operating at 60,000 psi to a 50 horsepower hydraulic intensifier operating 90,000 psi. The direct drive pump is able to use a 15,000 orifice nozzle. The 50 horsepower intensifier is limited to a 10,000 orifice nozzle. Both were using the same abrasive flow rate at 0.8 pounds per minute. For this chart, we show, for example, some 1-inch thick aluminum, 20 inches per minute at 60,000 psi versus only 17 at 90,000 psi. Thicker aluminum, 2-inch, 7.7 inches per minute compared to 6.5. And for example, some 2-inch thick steel, 3 inches per minute compared to 2.6. Consistently faster cutting for the direct drive pump at 60,000 psi. And this is true for a wide range of materials from hard tool steel to composites over a wide range of thicknesses. Now there is a really key downside to higher pressure operation, and that is higher operating costs and lower system reliability. Pump component life is shorter and therefore it costs more to replace it because of the high pressure regime. Balance of system components, valves, tubing, things like that have a shorter life. They cost more to replace. Mixing tube life in the nozzle we find from actual experience to be considerably shorter. And perhaps most important, we have more unscheduled downtime due to component fatigue failures operating in that higher pressure regime. So the bottom line, we can get faster cutting with an Omax 60,000 psi direct drive pump with the same motor size as a 90,000 psi intensifier and the same abrasive flow rate because it puts more effective cutting power to the nozzle. In addition, you get lower operating and maintenance costs, and equally important, you get greater system reliability, less unscheduled downtime. Omax is committed to truth in technology. Ask us for a test cut and let us prove it.